Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you can all hear me loud and clear. If the audio is not working or something, let me know in the questions. Welcome to our webinar about connecting high-quality sensors to the cloud. My name is Jonathan. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Crodeon. Um, this webinar will take about 30 minutes. In the end, of course, there will be room to ask all your questions. Feel free to use the questions feature or the chat. We will definitely make sure that all the questions are answered. So welcome everyone. This is what I will talk about. I will start about Crodeon, the company, then the problem that we fix, that we have discovered in the market and that we fix, how we fix this problem. So a deep dive into our technology, some of the applications that we are active in, and then customer cases in the end, and of course the Q&A. So let's go. About Crodeon. Crodeon is a Belgian electronics manufacturer. We are based in Ghent. We are a team of 6 people, founded in 2015, and we have over 300 customers today in 9 different countries. I think it's already 10 different countries by now. 1.5 million euros funding raised in 2 rounds. So we are really growing into a full-fledged manufacturer. We have left the startup phase and we are now scaling the company. In which markets are we active? Generally, we can say it's construction, agriculture, and industry, but I'm not really fond of limiting ourselves to certain sectors. We usually talk about the 3 pillars, smart water, weather, and indoor climate. These are a lot wider than just the limitation by sector, because there's a lot of different small sectors that we are also active in, such as the HVAC industry, the food business, festivals, smart cities, and so on. So we always talk about weather, water, and indoor climate. Everything that is related to remote monitoring, of course. So the problem that we solve. Nowadays, data is the new gold. So we all talk about collecting data and knowing what is happening from a distance. Of course, we're talking about AI, algorithms, predictive maintenance, and so on, based on data. But very often we see that there is no data, or that it is quite expensive to gather data. And we think that this is because many promising projects, unfortunately, are being cancelled because of the cost of overhead and manual work. If you want to link a few sensors to the cloud, but this takes you 2 or 3 days of technical work, then unfortunately this project is very often being cancelled halfway because the cost is not in proportion to the benefits that you will get from this project. So if overhead and manual work is killing promising projects, then we think we have to solve this problem. The problem is not that the technology is not available. The problem is that the technology is, but we think, not accessible enough, not easy enough to really be used without technical assistance. So keep this problem in mind, and then you will see how we solve it, of course. Our technology at Crodeon. Before I start the next slide, I'm going to share this device and the webcam. Everything at Crodeon revolves around Reporter. This is the wireless sensor device that we invented. It's the 3rd generation by now, and well, our company is 9 years old. We've been doing Reporter since the first year, and we think that Reporter, with the motto "Keep it simple," is the solution to the problem that I just sketched. If the technology is not easy enough to get your project live, then you have to fix the technology. You don't have to fix the company or the way of working. We think that plug-and-play hardware with plug-and-play software that is easy to use and understand is the solution to so many projects that are promising but have a limited size or a high versatility. So if you can keep the technology limited of complexity, then so many projects become profitable and logic. Of course, there's also a cloud platform. So when you buy a reporter, you're always having access to the data through the cloud. It's the Crodeon dashboard or the Crodeon cloud, what we call it, where you can see live sensor data from your reporter. This dashboard is accessible on your phone, but also on your PC, of course. And the connection between the reporter and the dashboard is using a SIM card, which is inside the reporter. So every reporter is being shipped to our customers with an active SIM card included. This is managed by us and it's over the cellular network. So we use the GSM connectivity for the data. We don't use Wi-Fi. It's a very conscious decision because Wi-Fi is one of those technical hurdles, one of those reasons for technical complexity, which is often costing valuable time. I'm going to give an example. If you build a system that is on Wi-Fi and you deliver it to the customer and you have to connect to their Wi-Fi network, it might take you an hour or two to get this up and running. If next year the customer changes his internet connection from a certain provider to another, and therefore your IP address has changed and you have to go there to fix the Wi-Fi based solution, that's the technical complexity that we don't want. So GSM, that means we always control the connectivity, and that means less problems for you. Reporter is IP67 waterproof, so you can use it outside. You don't have to build it inside a technical cabinet. You can, but it is not mandatory. And of course, there's also the REST API available, but I have a slide about this soon. One more thing about the GSM connection. There's a triple modem on the inside, which uses a 2G connection, but also 4G. And 4G is, in our case, narrowband and Cat-M. So there's two different kinds of 4G inside. It's not full 4G. It's the low-power version of 4G. Oh, and by the way, Reporter can be solar-powered or grid-powered. There's a battery inside, and you can use it throughout the year without ever going there to charge batteries. So the three laws of KISS, how we can keep projects very simple, and how we do this. First of all, there's only one reporter. Of course, there's not only one device. There's hundreds of them, but there's only one type of reporter. So you cannot miss. You just have to start every project by selecting a reporter. Second, all sensors that I will show you in a few moments fit every connector. So there's 4 ports at the front. The 5th port is where you connect the power supply, and every sensor from our collection fits every connector on the reporter. I will explain in a few moments how this works technically, because if you are a bit technical, then you might think this is impossible, and I will explain how we fix it. But this is a very important rule to keep projects simple. We like to compare ourselves to a USB device. If your laptop has 4 USB ports, then you can connect any USB device on every port. We want to offer the same simplicity for high quality professional sensors. And the third law of KISS, keep it simple, of course, is that our reporter always connects to the Crodeon cloud. We don't allow connections to a third-party cloud portal. There is a possibility to get the data in your portal as well using our API, but you will never connect another cloud portal directly to our device. This is how we keep it simple. And all these principles, we are very strict about respecting them, because neglecting any of these principles is really a reason for many projects to go wrong. And that's how we make it easy for ourselves. Respecting these laws makes so many projects so much easier, and this also results in a good price, of course. I said there's 4 ports in the front of the reporter. How can we connect pretty much every sensor on the market? By converting the signal of your sensor in the adapter. I'm going to show it on the webcam as well. This is our sensor adapter. It's a small connector which has a small PCB on the inside. If I open it up, you can see there's screw terminals at the front. So this is how you can turn your classic screw terminal sensor with open wire end. You can turn this into a waterproof sensor, which is also directly compatible to the reporter. So we buy our sensors always with a cable end output, and then it becomes directly compatible with our reporter using the conversion PCB, which is inside the connector. On the left, you can see what it looks like as a result. You have the sensor and always the bulky connector attached to it. This connector is also used for the auto detection. So when you connect the sensor into the reporter, it will be automatically detected, and we will have diagnostics about the connection. We convert the signal into a proprietary Crodeon signal, but that's quite technical. It's not really relevant. And you can extend it to 30 meters per sensor. By the way, we don't offer any wireless sensors. That's another principal question. Only wired sensors and then wireless from the reporter to the cloud. The sensor adapter exists in 5 different formats. There's one for voltages, which is the digital analog input adapter. This one will count pulses or convert dry contacts or 0 to 5 or 0 to 10 volt signals, so analog signals. The second one is for UART and I2C signals. Then we have a Modbus adapter, a 420 milliamps adapter, and the last one is a high precision. This one is coming soon in the summer. This is used for everything like load cells or dendrometers or crack sensors or potentiometers or strain gauges, for example. Everything that is very sensitive signals is used on the high precision adapter. So of course, depending on the sensor that you are using, you will get from us a different adapter. But using these 5 adapters, and maybe there will be added some more in the future, using these 5 adapters, we are able today to connect thousands of different kinds of sensors on the market. And the reporter can stay simple and easy because it only understands the converted signal. So of course, the adapter is just the physical connection. The signal is translated, but we still have to inform the customer about how he can connect the cable end wires of your sensor to the adapter. And that's why we are building a library of sensor connection diagrams. So you know for every sensor how to connect it and which adapter you have to use. This is on our website, so you can scroll through the library today if you want, and this is expanding rapidly into a collection of 50, of 100 or 150 good quality sensors that we like to work with and where you can easily find out how to connect them to the right kind of adapter. So if there's sensors manufacturers in the audience, I think some of them have signed in. If you have your own sensors that you are building or that you like to work with as a customer, we can always discuss connecting them to the reporter as well. Maybe you saw one of the adapters that might be possible. Analog, digital, we can discuss this. But we want to build the sensor collection of Crodeon into a best of breed selection. So we have a good sensor for every domain or for every kind of parameter. We want to be able to answer every question from a customer with the right sensor for the right application, because sometimes this has to be a high quality sensor with a high price and a high durability. Sometimes they want something more low cost. Sometimes they want a high accuracy. Sometimes this is not important. We want to have the right sensor for every customer. And of course, there's also a lot of relation building with the sensor manufacturers involved. So we like to talk to you. Also, if you are a customer and you have some sensor which you are already using today, feel free to send us a data sheet and we can inspect if it will be compatible. Then some applications. Some of our favorite applications, the ones that we very often are involved in. Weather and wind monitoring is something that we like to do. Of course, this is about temperature, humidity, precipitation, wind, gust, wind direction as well. And we notice a strong rise of this kind of inquiries from industry and from cities because safety is really becoming an issue during construction projects, for example, or on the roof of a factory, or if your factory has a bad smell and you are getting complaints from the neighborhood, then all these kinds of companies need weather stations or at least one or more wind sensors. And with one reporter, you can connect up to 4 anemometers, wind sensors. Legacy flow meters. Flow meters, but also energy meters or gas meters, whatever kind of meter that you have. If it has a pulse output or Modbus, we will be able to read it. This pulse output can be NPN, PNP, open collector, dry contacts, open drain. Send us the datasheet and we will probably be able to connect. So we can connect up to 4 kilowatt hour meters or gas meters to one reporter. And of course, this can be a completely isolated project at the end of a factory or outside or in a building nearby, in some location where the PLC is not present or where you don't have a PLC or where you cannot access the PLC, then adding a simple reporter is very often the cheapest solution. Water quality is something that we have been doing for a few months now, and we do this with one or more partners from us. So we can measure pH, ORP, but also suspended solids or conductivity. We have some water quality sensors that we can offer if you want to measure the quality of wastewater, for example, or seawater. This is something that we also see a rising demand. But this was just a few of the most popular parameters. Of course, there's so many more other ones that we can think of, like soil moisture, pressure, distance, level sensors, and so on. And it's actually what we are the strongest in, is where many different parameters arrive together. For example, in a construction project where you have to measure pressure or vacuum in combination with flow and groundwater level, that's where we are very strong, because you can combine pretty much any kind of parameter on one and the same reporter. Also funny combinations like rain or wind or freezing temperatures in combination with pressure on a water pipe in the fruit sector. Combinations that are quite unlogic at first sight, but that are maybe becoming more popular because of climate change, for example. For us, it's no problem. If there's a sensor for it, we will probably be able to connect it. And with all these parameters, and of course also with a webinar like this one, we are actively talking to so many different kind of sensor manufacturers. I added some logos here, but there's many more logos on our website. Every sensor that we work with was made by some manufacturer, and our relationship with sensor manufacturers is very complementary, because we need these high quality sensors and you need some way to connect them to the cloud. And of course, the cloud means the Crodeon dashboard, but also API access. So the reporter is becoming a universal generic bridge to connect high quality sensors to the cloud with direct API access if you are a technical person. Some customer cases. Bax is a construction company in Belgium. We help them with measuring water flow when they are dewatering. So dewatering is about removing groundwater from a construction project if you are building a parking or a basement. And then they have to know how much water is being removed for the regulatory compliance. They also have to know if there's still a vacuum pressure on their pumps. Of course, what the groundwater level is, because that's what they are keeping track of, and what the power supply is, if there still is power in the construction yard. And if the power is down, then they have a big problem. They want to be notified and they want to do something about it. For Danone, we helped the plant in Wevelgem with a leak in the hot and cold water circuits. They had a legacy flow meter which was there for 20 years already, and we just connected this to one reporter and helped them identify the problem in the plant. Steen Vastgoed is a construction company. They had to register groundwater level for a long time around the construction yard before they can start the works. I think it's for the permit phase. They used weather stations and groundwater level sensors. Then we have Bridgestone. We help them with measuring temperature and humidity, but also wet bulb temperature, because it turned out if the wet bulb temperature outside was lower than 16 degrees, they were able to use the cooling tower instead of the industrial chiller in the plant. And this resulted in a huge energy savings for the plant. They also needed a groundwater level sensor for the regulatory compliance and humidity sensors in the warehouse for storing certain products in the right conditions. Aquafin is a water company based in Belgium. We help them measuring water level in private water tanks, because when heavy rains were announced, they wanted to be able to proactively empty these water tanks at people's houses to use them as a buffer. And our reporter was used in the test project to see if this was viable, if this was a real case that they could work on. Integration with their own Azure environment was critical, so that's what they used our API for. Then we have PC Fruit, which is a research center in Centruiden, which is the fruit region of Belgium. They have over 70 reporters in multiple different research projects related to irrigation, but also frost detection. They measure stem diameters with our reporters. They measure leaf wetness, light intensity, and there's a great blog on our website about how they used our technology with our API and a scientific model to limit the water consumption in irrigation projects for blueberries. So I think you understand our mission by now. We want to enable companies of all sizes to start making use of data. Even if you are a small project or if you have a big project with a large versatility of different kinds of parameters to be measured, then we need to make sure that the overhead and the manual work and the technical work that is required to get your project up and running, we need to keep this to a limit, to the minimum. Only then will your project be truly profitable. In the past, the cost of a technical employee used to be 40 or 50 euros. Nowadays, this is 70 or 80 euros per hour. So if you can keep the amount of technical work limited, then your project will be profitable and you will be able to get the rewards sooner. I have some more customer logos here. So as I said, we have over 300 customers in 10 different countries by now. Only B2B, by the way, so we don't work for non-professional customers. And we now are shifting to a more indirect model where we are more and more working with partners and distributors instead of working for end customers. But of course, there's always the web shop. So as an end customer, you can always order with us directly as well. Here's my contact info again. By the way, you will get the slides at the end, and I would say we can move to the Q&A by now. Let's see. Stefan, we can help on best-in-class position sensors. I don't think we have a position sensor today in the lineup yet. Is this then GPS location or maybe proximity sensors? But indeed, let's have a talk about this. Encoders. Oh, rotary encoders probably. Well, let's have a meeting, Stefan. Let's discuss afterwards, because I think that's a good idea. We are definitely interested. Then Michiel de Vet, is there a way to measure when a backup energy system comes alive or when it stops? Does this backup energy system have a dry contact output? If it has a contact output, so 1 or 0 when it's turning on, for example, and then we can read this contact output. That's of course easy as pie. And then in the graph you will see it starts at a certain hour, it stops. If it doesn't, then maybe we can track this using an energy meter, a kilowatt hour sensor. That would be maybe possible. But Michiel, maybe we can schedule a meeting as well to discuss this. Maybe you should check first if there's a dry contact output. That would be nice. Sure, let's talk afterwards. I have some more questions here. Is there a connection for Modbus TCP and Ethernet IP? Question from Menno. The Modbus adapter that we have, it's the one that I showed here in front of the webcam. Our Modbus adapter is Modbus RTU. It's Modbus over RS485. We don't have Modbus TCP today. At least there's no adapter for it. I see a second question here about a HART, wireless HART, or wired HART in this case, HART. This is also a protocol that we do not support yet today. But I suppose there's going to be some more adapters in the future. SDI12 is one of those protocols that are maybe on the radar, but today we have the 5 adapters that we have, and Modbus is not Modbus TCP, but Modbus RTU. Another question, sensors have a LoRa connection. How will it work with the reporter? How will our sensors be connected? As I said, we don't do wireless sensors, so we only work with wired sensors. If you have a LoRa sensor, you will not be able to connect it to our reporter. We are convinced that it's more logic to keep your sensor stupid and just wired, and leave the power and the data registration and the wireless connectivity to the reporter to a central module. Especially if you have more than one sensor in one location, then it's not very logical to make every sensor have its own battery and its own SIM card. No, connect them with a wire to one module, and then we will get your sensor data in one way to the cloud. Another question, is there a yearly fee to pay for the use of the portal? Indeed, so you buy the reporter for 500 euros. That's the price you see on the web shop. And there's a yearly fee of 180 euros subscription per reporter. That's 15 euros a month. And this includes the SIM card. It also includes the access to the dashboard, unlimited number of users, alarming, and API access. But we never sell a reporter without a subscription. Does your system offer alarm notifications? As I just said, alarm notifications are included. This can be sent by SMS, email, or call. If a certain value is too high or too low, and you can also set the delay. And the question was from Michiel, is there a way to measure backup energy system coming online? If you have a dry contact output, Michiel, then we can also link this to the alarm, so you can get notification if it falls out. And I think I have 2 more questions. Can you link multiple reporters to get more than 4 sensors connected to one device? No, we don't do daisy chaining, so we only have 4 ports on the reporter, and every reporter is autonomous by itself. If you want 5 sensors, then you will need 2 reporters. That's one of these KISS principles. We don't offer any other kind of versions, no master slave, nothing like that. I think that was the last one. Does your system offer alarm notifications based on sensor data? Yeah, we got that one. That's it. Any more questions? Anyone? Now is the time. In any case, oh, there's one more. Menu, how many reporters can be connected to your software? Well, as much as you want, Menu. There's no limitation. As I said, we have 300 customers today. All of them are connected to our cloud, and we manage this connection for you. So this is also included in the subscription. We connect and manage all these reporters. If you buy one and you get it shipped to your house, it will be already connected to the dashboard up front. So all reporters are connected to our cloud, and we want to scale this to thousands and thousands of devices in one and the same cloud. And of course, that's how we make it efficient. That's how we can make it optimized for everyone if we do this for you. Yes, Michiel, how do we get in contact? Info at, or if you want to get my number, here it is. But there's also a central number, of course, on the website. Feel free to reach out and we will be glad to help you. There we go. I'm going to end the webinar. Oh, wait, Stefan is typing. Thank you. Perfect, Stefan. Let's keep in touch and have the meeting. As I said, Michiel, you as well. And of course, you know how to find us. Thank you for being here today. See you in our next webinar and spread the word. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Bye.